Hello and welcome to a new video. This is a different corner of my flat. We are in our spare room at the moment. Just trying out different angles, trying out what works, what doesn't work. I think it's definitely better with the new mic. I don't know if you guys find it better, but I definitely can notice a difference. You can understand me better, which is good. I thought today we could talk about routines, having routines, and how maybe feeling like you have a stable routine or being in a stable routine can help with managing like different anxieties, especially thinking about moving anxieties, unknowns, and how those unknowns impact anxieties and how having routines can help with that. So I feel like in my case, obviously my external world feels like it's very much on a changing trajectory. There's a lot of unknowns, but I know that a lot will change, and it will change quickly and soon. So it almost feels like it's the quiet before the storm, where I'm still in my fairly usual routine, but not even that, because I work part-time at the moment. I think I mentioned this in another video, but you know, going through burnout and trying to recover from that, the only way that I could come back to working and having a fairly normal life was by going part-time, which I feel like is quite a good compromise for now until I move to Germany. It feels like, because we still don't have a definite kind of date of when we're moving, it does feel like a lot of stuff is still very much up in the air. It's because we haven't got that date, we haven't got like flights booked, we haven't got anything really sorted. Like, we're pretty much still in our like old routine. It feels like when you tell people that you move in, and you, or even before that, like you've got this big secret and you're keeping a secret, and it's a bit like living in a fairy tale world, because only you and your partner know what's going on, and you've got these like hopes and dreams, and like everything feels very like fairy tale-y. But then you tell people, and like the anticipation of telling people brings you to this like really high, and then even telling people that's like even more of a high, because it's like, oh my gosh, like everyone's really excited and everyone just wants to be a part of that excitement and wants to be a part of the move. I mean, yeah, they themselves can't really believe it, and I think my parents probably still, they won't believe it until I'm actually there, to be honest. But it's like this high that you're on, it then slowly kind of starts losing traction, and it's kind of like you go back to your routine, you go back to your day-to-day life, and I feel like that's when the anxiety kicks in. And when it kicks in, that you're thinking, why aren't we moving forward? Are we plateauing? Like, what's going on? So many unknowns. Why can't we make definite plans? It feels very slow, like very slow moving, while also doing a part-time job and while trying to work on my YouTube as well. Like all these things, it feels like having that routine is what keeps me going. And I think especially in the summer, I mean, the summer is, for me personally, always a way better time than winter. I definitely thrive in sunlight. Winter and the darkness, it just always makes me feel quite low. And I guess also because you start getting like nervous or anxious, to solve that anxiety or nervousness, you think, oh well, I just need to find a date, or I just need to find a solution for my problem. I just need to just resolve whatever's going on. But sometimes that's just not really possible. I'm not able to give a definite date, or like have a definite date for myself of when I move. It's just not possible. It's not possible to rush things like paperwork, because, you know, getting the Germans to accept my social work degree, like you can't rush that. Like that is just a process that takes forever, and even just understanding the process takes forever. So it feels like a lot of stuff that is maybe giving me anxiety at the moment is just very much like out of my hands. So I guess to bring me back to the routines, it feels like at the moment, I'm very much thinking the only thing that I can control is my day-to-day, is my routine. I mean, getting proper sleep, for one, that's always a non-negotiable for me. Like, I have to get at least 8 hours sleep routine. So like, for example, my phone, I don't take my phone into my bedroom. Like, I prepare my food for the next day, I put my phone to sleep mode and I leave it in the kitchen so that I don't even feel tempted to go on my phone while I'm in bed. I've been better at that, but what I'm not being so good at, which is also something that I try to do, is my stretching. I'm notoriously bad at doing my stretches. Like, I always recommend it to people, and I always say, if you've got back problems, if you've got, I don't know, stiff neck or whatever, you've got to do your stretches, and I'm not very good at that. I do try, I'd really try to at least just do like 1 or 2 stretches, because even that really helps, like just to mobilize your back and like mobilize your spine. So yeah, putting your phone away, getting into your bedroom, obviously brushing teeth, skincare, etc. That's, yeah, part of it as well. Do your stretches, read your book, or, you know, if you don't like reading books, then maybe do things like journaling or maybe meditation, like anything that will just like calm you down. People do knitting, people do crocheting, so many things that people do just to calm them down before like going to sleep. I guess part of the stretches is also gym and like movement. That's something that I really have tried to prioritize since going back to work, because I think a huge part of why I burnt out is that my whole life just became work. Like, my whole life revolved around work. Like, if I worked late and I was knackered, oh, that's it, I can't go to the gym. Wake up, go straight to work. Don't take lunch breaks. Work late, can't go gym. Come home, just feel moody, just feel stressed, don't feel well, don't feel good in myself, not able to sleep because I'm just thinking about work the whole time. And that's just not healthy. I mean, I don't know how much more I can stress this. For anyone that is going into social work or any caring jobs, any jobs where you're using yourself, your emotional well-being, just you as a person, you need to have boundaries. Sorry, I feel like I kind of digressed a little. People need to have boundaries. You need to have a life outside of work. And since going part-time, I've really tried to focus on gym. I work 3.5 days, but it's compressed into 3 days. So I don't work 2 days in the week. Those 2 days in the week, I go to the gym. If I smash it, good. If I don't smash it, doesn't matter. Just keep the routine. Keep going. I wasn't feeling too great on Friday, but I still went because I just need to keep that routine of just going to the gym. Even if it's a light session, doesn't matter. And this is not just gym. This is, you know, if you like doing dancing, do your dancing. If you like playing tennis, like I've got a lot of people, a lot of friends that play tennis, or they play basketball, or they're in a football team, or, you know, anything that you do, or even if it's just going for a walk and that's your workout, that's cool. But you got to keep that routine. You got to keep going. You got to stick to the days. Like, you've got, for example, I go Monday and Friday and 1 day on the weekend. Like, that's the 3 main days that I go. If I manage to squeeze another session like during the week, so like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, good. If I don't, it's fine. Because if I've gone 3 days, that makes me feel good. That makes me feel like, okay, I've got a life outside of work. I'm maintaining my physical health. I'm maintaining that routine. Always goes back to the routine. It's just having that consistency. And again, like I say, you don't need to be doing mad session every time you go. For me, gym has really, it's just become something that gives me a purpose in my life that's not work. To me, it's spending an hour where I'm listening to my music or I'm listening to my audiobook. Like, that's something that I've been doing as well. Bit weird, I know, but I've focused on the physical side of things. I'm coming out of my own brain. I'm coming out of my own, you know, my thoughts. And it really helps me to keep that routine and just not feel the anxiety. And I think for me, like, I never identified as someone who has anxiety, but for me, it manifests in not being able to sleep, not being able to switch off, and really feeling it like in my body, and being able to do something else with my body that's not feeling the anxiety. It really helps me. And I think another part of like the physical health things is being sober. I see this time and time again. People, they come home from a stressful day, or like even in movies. I mean, I've been watching quite a few movies recently, and you see people chilling on their sofa like after a long day at work, and they're just like having a glass of wine, or they're having a beer, meeting up with their friends at the pub. I mean, that's like a huge thing here in England, is that people go to the pub all the time. You know, I think it's important to understand this is not me trying to put down anyone's like habits or cultures, because I think a lot of people, they use it as a coping mechanism, and they use it as a way of coping with the life that they're living, because for whatever reason they might not be happy. They might not be happy in their job, or they might not be happy in their relationship or with their friendships, family. Like, there's so many reasons that people have where they feel like they need to cope with it. For me, it's become so important to not fall back to alcohol every time I feel like I'm struggling, to not have that as like my default response of I've had a stressful day, or I want to have a good time with my friends, or I got a drink, I got to have a drink. It's really helped me to kind of know myself better, and like know who I am, know who my real friends are, know what I want my life to look like, and that I don't want my life to revolve around that. Each their own. If people want to do that and it works for them, that's amazing, that's really good. But for me, and for my anxiety and my stress response just gets worse if I drink. It's really become this like non-negotiable boundary for me in like the last, I think it's been, pretty much this whole year. It's been like 5 months. It's been good. I felt really good. I felt really good in myself, and I felt really good to be able to set those boundaries with other people as well, because it does happen all the time that I say I don't drink, and they're like, wait, what do you mean you don't drink? And you just start having this whole conversation, and you feel like you need to justify yourself, but it's just setting a boundary for yourself, and that is really important for me. Another part of the routine is like having a routine around food and like organization and stuff. And I feel like for me, growing up, food and my body image was always a huge issue. Always. Like, I've always struggled with my eating habits. I watched Germany's Next Top Model and like all the other models that were there, and I just didn't look like that. And I'm quite short. I don't have the body that they were promoting on there. And it's took me a really, really long time to develop a healthy relationship with food. I don't demonize those foods, because I still love eating. Even like the cultural part of it, like my family, we bond over food, and I think it's not so much a thing in like, at least in Germany and England where I've been, and I think in just Northern European countries. It's a funny thing that like, my partner always says when he goes to Hamburg, he's like, I'm never going to go hungry because I know that people are going to feed me. And now I've kind of got to the point where I like being prepared. Like I like having the same breakfast every morning. I just like having that preparation of I know what I'm going to eat. It's just having that kind of peace of mind of knowing, okay, I'm going to eat this and that. That's good, and I'm going to fuel my body in a good way. You wake up, you make your porridge, you make your coffee, you sit down, and you just take 10 minutes in your day and just enjoy your breakfast. You know what you're going to eat, and it's having that peace of mind, having that routine that really, really helps me. Okay, just to round this video up, I think I was definitely waffling towards the end there, but just thinking about, how to conclude this video, and I guess bring it, like tying it back into what the purpose of this video initially was. Just to say that if you are struggling with a lot of like uncertainty in your life, or a lot of like changes, a lot of maybe things that are just completely out of your control, and things that you just can't really, able to change at the moment, the most important thing in those situations is definitely to just find your anchors. Like, find the things that make you feel grounded, find the things that make you feel like yourself. If that is your weekly routine of going horse riding, or a weekly routine of going to visit your parents and having a gin and tonic in the garden. Everyone has those like routines and things that make them feel grounded, make them feel like themselves, and you just got to find those in your life. Make sure you keep that consistency and keep the routine. It doesn't matter what the routine is, just have a sense of safety. You don't need to know what the next 5 years are going to look like, but as long as you know what the next week at least, or even the next 24 hours is going to look like, it gives you a peace of mind, and it just makes you feel grounded. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that resonates with some people. Do let me know what your routines look like. What are those anchors that you have in your life? What are those things that you do that just make you feel sane and make you feel normal, make you feel like yourself? And thank you for spending this Sunday morning with me, or whenever you're watching this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.